Did you get some of that good Snoop weed?
I've smoked with Unc before, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know till it's at your front door. I always say the front row at the funeral is different. You know, when you have to sit on, like, you know, I've been at a lot of funerals.
I bet.
I've never sat front row at one. That's different.
What does that do to you?
Shift your perspective on life. You know what I mean? Make you see not only that is life short, but that it's a gift, you know, and because everyone's time is so different.
Nobody expected one short clip of Snoop Dogg and Lauren London standing together to break the internet, but that's exactly what happened. At first glance, it looked harmless. Snoop smiling, Lauren relaxed, both exchanging friendly energy. But when that footage hit social media, the reaction was instant. Fans weren't just confused, they were alarmed. And once people remembered Snoop's history with other legends who died too soon, the theories started forming fast. Because when Lauren London appears in public, she doesn't stand alone. She represents Nipsey Hussle's entire legacy. And anyone standing beside her immediately becomes part of a much larger conversation, one that stretches from the streets of Crenshaw all the way into boardrooms and back alley politics in hip-hop. But the real story behind this clip goes far deeper than what fans saw online. To understand the reaction, you have to understand how Lauren became the center of something much bigger than herself. After Nipsey was taken from this world, Lauren became the voice people needed. She honored him publicly, spoke at the Staples Center, represented him at awards shows, and showed strength even when she was shattered inside. It didn't take long before the culture placed her at the center of Nipsey's legacy. Brands used her for tribute campaigns. Documentaries used her voice to carry their emotional weight. Fans treated her like the living symbol of everything Nipsey stood for. Whether she wanted it or not, she became the guardian of his memory. And in the world of hip-hop, that kind of symbolism comes with power. Her presence is influence. Her words shape narratives. Her alignment determines who the public sees as close to Nipsey's empire. So when Snoop showed up next to her in that clip, fans didn't see casual friendship. They saw strategy. They saw positioning. They saw another chapter in a story they never fully understood. But to understand why people reacted the way they did, you have to go all the way back to the moment Nipsey was taken. When Nipsey was killed outside the Marathon store on March 31st, 2019, the world didn't just lose a musician, it lost a blueprint. Nipsey represented growth, ownership, and a future beyond what the industry typically allows young black men to have. Los Angeles collapsed into grief. The streets filled with murals, flowers, handwritten letters. Obama sent a tribute. Major artists broke down in public. People around the world used his name as a rallying cry. But behind the tears, something else was happening. A power vacuum. See, Nipsey wasn't just an artist. He was a leader who owned his masters, his businesses, and a major share of the very neighborhood he grew up in. His empire was rare, valuable, and protected fiercely by his family, especially his brother, Black Sam. Right after the tragedy, Sam made it clear, nobody was going to exploit Nipsey's name. Nobody was getting access to the empire he helped build. And anybody who tried, well, Sam warned them. But even among Nip's own circle, cracks began to show. Brick Baby admitted he and Sam clashed after Nipsey's death, arguing about loyalty and who should be allowed near the Marathon brand. Then came the whispers, quiet at first, then louder. Whispers that Nipsey didn't die from random violence. Whispers that jealousy inside his own set played a part. But nothing lit the fire more than what Suge Knight said next. From behind prison walls, Suge Knight dropped one of the heaviest claims the streets had heard since Nip's passing. He said Puff destabilized Nipsey's circle by introducing them to stronger substances. He said big homies were jealous of Nip's success. He said Nipsey rose too high, too fast, and it threatened people who built their identities on control. Then Suge pointed a finger at someone else, Snoop Dogg. He claimed Snoop had a long history of playing both sides, that he was involved in moves the public would never accept. Suge's message was simple. Nipsey's downfall didn't come from nowhere. It came from people with motives. Fans didn't forget those statements, even if the mainstream ignored them. And when the new Snoop X Lauren footage appeared, those dots began connecting all over again. Because this wasn't the first time Snoop found himself next to a grieving family. Not even close. To understand why fans reacted so strongly, you need to look at Snoop's past. When Tupac was alive, Snoop stood beside him, called him brother, called him family. But at the same time, Snoop aligned himself with people Pac openly viewed as enemies. He even recorded with individuals tied to the events surrounding Pac's death. After Pac was gone, Snoop stepped up like he was the closest person to him. He told stories that didn't line up. He rewrote events that other Outlaws members said never happened. He built a public bond with Pac. After Pac couldn't respond, then came Biggie. Snoop has repeatedly claimed he was close with Biggie too, but Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, said there's zero evidence of this. No photos, no studio sessions, no events, nothing. Yet once Biggie was gone, Snoop became the friendly face of unity. Fans started noticing a pattern. When legends are alive, Snoop keeps his distance or sides with their enemies. When legends fall, Snoop becomes the grieving brother. This isn't proven betrayal, but it is a pattern people couldn't ignore when they saw him beside Lauren London. Because in hip-hop, proximity is power, and Snoop knows exactly how to use it. To the untrained eye, the clip was harmless. To fans who watched Nipsey's story unfold, it was loaded. Lauren isn't just a partner, she's the vessel of Nipsey's memory. She carries the emotional authority. She carries the narrative. She carries the love that made Nipsey human, not just iconic. Standing next to her is like stepping into Nipsey's light. And that's why fans reacted with suspicion, not joy. People began asking, why is Snoop positioning himself beside her? Why now? What does he gain from this? And why does this feel so similar to the way he aligned himself with the families of Tupac and Biggie? Then another rumor resurfaced, that Lauren may have been connected to Diddy's world more than fans realized. Not proof, but whispers. And in hip-hop, whispers spread fast. Suddenly, the clip became more than just footage. It became a symbol of a much bigger struggle. Nipsey didn't just leave behind music, he left behind an entire business ecosystem. Real estate, the Marathon brand, intellectual property, partnerships, local investments, community projects. This wasn't just a legacy, it was a kingdom. And when a king falls, the kingdom becomes vulnerable. The family fought to protect it. The streets argued over who truly stood for Nip. Industry figures saw opportunity. Executives saw branding potential. Old associates resurfaced. And the person caught in the center of all of it? Lauren London. Then another layer dropped. Big U. Nipsey had allegedly been distancing himself from Big U before his death. Others said power struggles were growing behind the scenes. Meanwhile, guess who maintained a friendly relationship with Big U Snoop? And like that, the Snoop x Lauren clip took on an entirely different meaning. To fans who connected all these pieces, it didn't look like coincidence. It looked like positioning. Let's be clear, Eric Holder pulled the trigger, but many fans believe he didn't act alone. Theories include jealousy inside Nip's set, tension with Big U, pressure from industry figures, federal surveillance around Nipsey's work, fear of his independence, economic motives tied to his real estate purchases, rivalries inside the neighborhood. Whether these theories are true or not, they show one thing. People don't believe Nipsey died randomly, they believe he was removed. Because Nipsey wasn't just growing, he was becoming dangerous to the structure of hip-hop. He didn't rely on labels, he didn't rely on executives, he didn't rely on anyone. When you own the block, the businesses, the masters, the narrative, and the loyalty of millions, you become a threat to people who profit off control. And when fans see Snoop aligning himself with Lauren, with Big U, with people Nipsey allegedly kept distance from, they don't see friendship. They see a pattern that feels far too familiar. This clip didn't expose a crime. It exposed tension. It exposed unresolved questions. It exposed fear that Nipsey's legacy may be reshaped by people who weren't aligned with him while he was alive. Snoop's public image has always been smooth, friendly, and untouchable. But the internet remembers everything. Lauren's position makes every interaction meaningful. Her presence turns a simple moment into a political statement. And whether the clip was innocent or not, the reaction proves one thing. People are still hurting. People are still suspicious. People still believe Nipsey's story isn't finished. This isn't just about one moment between Snoop and Lauren, It's about the legacy of a man who meant everything to millions, and the fear that the wrong people are trying to guide the marathon now. Nipsey Hussle wasn't just an artist. He was a visionary who showed people a different path. His death created a hole the culture still hasn't filled. So when fans see Snoop standing beside Lauren London, they don't see a friendly moment. They see history repeating itself. They see the same patterns that surrounded Pac, Biggie, and now Nip. And the question that remains is simple. Is this just innocent footage? Or is it another sign that deeper moves are happening behind the scenes? Moves that could shape Nipsey's legacy forever? Let me know what you think in the comments, and buckle up, because this conversation isn't slowing down anytime soon.